Anthony Hartwig here with a Lowville Girls Basketball Coaches Corner and season preview with head coach Lisa Modelski. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you for having me, as always.
We start all these season previews with kind of a reflection of the last year, and I'm sure you've watched a lot of tape on last year's team, especially the players that are returning this year. What kind of things did you see in last year's season that you can really take and learn from this year and use as growing tools for this season coming up?
I really go back to our last tournament win against Badger. I thought that was really just a turning point for our girls and our program. I know we hit a buzzsaw when we hit Bristol the following game, but we don't want to take that with us other than learning from the things that we needed to get better. But that Badger game, like I said, was a turning point for us. I think our girls after that believed in just everything that we've tried to instill in them over the past couple years. And they just believed that they could win, and they went out and proved that. And I've seen a huge difference in our attitudes, in our leadership, and everything over the summer. So I'm hoping that translates into the new, the new year.
All right, so you take in all of that, and then you have to form a kind of a game plan for summer. And obviously, summer is so important for basketball teams. What was your summer like? What kind of things did this team do, and how did the summer go for Lowville?
I will be honest, summer's pretty hard for us. Being from a small school, our girls are in multiple things. 10 of our 11 on roster this year were involved in some kind of fall sport. So it was very difficult trying to get the girls, not that they didn't want to, but just, fitting it into all the other things that they had going on with their fall programs. But we got into a basketball summer league. We did a couple shootouts and showcases and stuff like that. And I thought our girls really responded well. We saw a ton of different competition and different levels of competition, and we competed. And that's the biggest thing, coming in a little raw after the season, giving them some time off. Some of them went to track, some of them went to softball. So it was difficult getting gym time at that point. And I do coach track, so it's hard getting our girls back and forth. But like I said, they responded really well. We have a great senior core coming back that is doing everything they can to help the younger kids and just make them better. So I thought summer went extremely well for what we are looking to do this year.
With summer as difficult as it is trying to get everyone together, I'm sure that means that the 3 weeks before the season, when you start to get everyone, these practices are when you really make a lot of moves. What were on some of your checklists and game plans for these, 2 or 3 weeks of preseason practice and scrimmages that you want to see from your team?
Really going hard. We're trying to change things up on the defensive side for us this year. And I think we have the bodies, we have the capability to do it. So really getting after defensively. In the past, we really focused a lot on our offensive sort of game plan. But defensively, we just want to cause and create havoc for other teams. And I think that's been the game plan of what we want to do and what we've done in these past couple scrimmages. Just really, putting the pedal to the floor and going hard at teams. What we lack in size, like we've always talked about, I hope to make up in our speed and our experience this year. And I think we've done that so far.
All right, now let's go into our Meet the Team segment where we break down your roster. I know you have a lot of returning players, maybe some new faces. Shout out some of the players that you think are really going to make an impact in this program for Lowville.
Okay. Like I said, we have 11 girls on roster this year. And I think all 11 have something to bring. 7 of those 11 girls are returning letter winners. So they have experience. 3 of our 4 seniors are 4-year letter winners, or will be 4-year letter winners. They've been starters for us for 4 years. So we're expecting big things. Some of those names, Savannah Prosick, she's been our leader in almost every category over the past 3 years. She's our rebel out there. She's brought her game to a completely different level over these past 2 years. I'm really excited to see what she's going to give us this year. Lily Very Capola, she's another one of our seniors. Lily's just an all-around basketball player. She can do it on the defensive end. She helps us, with ball handling. She takes the pressure off of Savannah a little bit at times. She's our leading rebounder. Looking to get her into the scoring book a little bit more this year. Francesca Lelio, another senior starter for the past 4 years. She when Frankie gets hot, she gets hot. So the biggest thing is just keeping her motivated and positive on the offensive end. And I think that translates to both sides of the floor for her. When she's hitting, her game's on point. Avery Shoemaker, another one of our seniors. Avery didn't play freshman year, but we've had her the past two and are excited about the things that she brings to our team, the level of athleticism, her speed. She gets it going for us on the defensive side. Without her running back and forth and doing what she does, we can't use our speed as well and do the things that we want to do. So all the credit goes to her, getting the show going on that defensive end. Our juniors, Serena Tish, she's a player that we always knew had the athleticism above anybody that I've ever seen. It was just getting her that exposure, that experience, that confidence. In the summer, she turned the table. I mean, she's a different kind of player. I think some coaches in the summer were shocked. Some even asked me, where'd she come from? I'm like, she's been on roster, but she just made a huge jump over the summer, and we're real excited about what she's going to bring for us. Another junior is Isabella Wilrich. Isabella got some quality minutes last year as a sophomore and even some minutes as a freshman. She had a wonderful summer. She improved her game immensely. I know she's doing some individual trainings and things like that to get better. And that's all you can ask as a coach, that these kids do things on their personal time to help the program. And then we have some really good sophomores that are stepping into playing time. Alyssa Kuzan gave us huge minutes last year, looking for her to do some really big things. Morgan Lewis, Jocelyn Delsignor, and Michelle Kavanaugh, they're all capable sophomores that are going to give us significant playing time if they keep doing what they're doing. And then we have another freshman just added to the group, just one on roster this year, Gianna Morales. She's a kiddo that hasn't played since 7th grade, but she's very bright. She catches on quickly. She has all the skills that I think can make a very good basketball player. It's just that rawness that we need to help her through and address.
All right, Louisville fans, take notes. That was a lot of roster, a lot of people to know. Some people you do know, a lot of faces that you've become familiar with over the years that will shine bright on the court. So now let's go over this schedule. Obviously, you play in the MVAC Scarlet Tier, very talented basketball league. Both sides of the MVAC are really, really good. Where do you see the league shaking out this year, and where do you see Louisville in the picture of the MVAC when you think about it?
Well, to be honest, I'm hoping to be in the mix. Our girls are working hard and trying to figure out some things that we need to get better at. On the defensive side, like I said, that's our focus this year, because I feel like sometimes our offensive game is just not, we're just not hitting on nights, but we need to be there defensively every night. We play in a really tough league, like you alluded to. It's competitive from top to bottom. So I'm really excited to go against, the Springfields this year, who's dominated us over the past couple of years, and Western Reserves and McDonald's and all those teams that have given us some trouble this year, because I want to see how we have improved. And I think we have. So I think some people will be a little bit surprised maybe by some of the things that we're able to do this year. We're not, of course, but, we're excited for it. And our non-league schedule is probably toughest that we've had for a long time, but I think our girls will step up to that challenge for sure.
Let's talk about that non-league schedule. What are some other teams that pop up outside of your conference that you're excited to kind of test yourselves with and play?
Yeah, we got some early tests for sure. And we start league play pretty early in the season. We start with Campbell. They've always given us, a run for our money, and their programs, slowly but surely turning around. And then we go see Columbiana, we see Crestview, and these are teams that, have been pretty dominant. And I know everybody's expecting some big things from Crestview. So I would like to see a little test. They got us last year by 3 points. And I think if we would have did some things differently early on, that we could have competed and maybe won that game. But I'm curious to see how we match up against a team like that. With Jackson Milton not having a season this year, we picked up Mogador, who I'm excited to sort of see how we match up with them. We have Maplewood, we have Bristol, who has a tremendous amount of tradition and the things that they did last year. So I'm really excited. And then they wrap up the season with East. So, Tanisha Franklin always gets her team going and playing hard. And I'm curious to see what that'll do to help us, rolling right into tournament right after we get them.
What I noticed about that schedule, especially in there's a lot of teams that you might see in the tournament later on in the season. Is that kind of purposeful to try to see where you fit in the whole bracket scheme and the district scheme in the regular season?
I'm not sure if it's purposeful or just, all that we had and what teams we were able to schedule and stuff like that. But I really think it does help us. Division 4, as small as these schools are competitive. I mean, Waterloo now went down from 3 to 4, and that's going to put a little wrench into, everybody's tournament play, and especially what they did last year. So I'm just really excited to get at it and see what our girls can do. Like I said, I think Division 4 is a great division to be in. Everyone thinks we're small and we're not as competitive, and no, you can't be D2 or D3 schools. But some of these teams in our division, I'd put up against pretty much anyone, and I think we would compete and even win some games. So I'm just excited to see how it plays out.
I want you to give me a biggest strength that you think that you see from your roster, and then maybe a biggest weakness or a thing that you want to grow in the most this season.
I think our biggest strength right now is we might not have a ton of numbers, but the numbers we have are some quality players. We have I think a wealth of experience. Like I said, a lot of these girls have quality minutes. 3 of my 4 seniors have been starters in the program for 4 years, and they have a ton of experience. They know what it takes now to get the job done. I think our biggest weakness is going to be our consistency with our scoring. And I think we have a lot of girls that could put the ball in the hoop. It's just getting them all to be firing on the same day, or getting that one consistent or those 2 consistent scorers for us. We're losing a lot of points when we lost, Sammy Moore and averaging 13 points, and Malia Hedrich to graduation last year. So we got to make up those points somewhere. So I think that's going to be the difficulty, is just finding that consistency on the offensive end. But we're hoping that defensive pressure and turning it up a notch on that side will translate into some points for us.
All right. I also want to let you kind of introduce us to your staff. For people that weren't watching last year, we know head coaches get all the limelight, they get the interviews, but they can't do it without the people that are behind them. So who do you have helping you this year, and what do they bring to the program as well?
Same crew I've had for, my tenure being here. My brother-in-law, John Vizdak, I think he's better than any person out there in regards to X's and O's and game plans, and really getting these girls prepared on both sides of the floor. I really couldn't do it without his, expertise and his basketball smarts. And then my father, who coached me in high school, Ron Rotuno, he's about the sweetest, nicest guy out there. The girls look forward to him every day. He brings just a different level of caring and commitment to the program. He's always the first, in the gym and greeting the girls. So that's a hard thing, for those girls to feel comfortable and want to come in and be there every day. I think he has a lot to do with that. And then my junior high coaches, I'd be remiss to say the things that they've done to prepare, these girls as they've come up. Steve Prosick does an amazing job. Our girls won the MVAC league last year in 7th grade. So looking for big things from them moving forward. One of our volunteers from last year, or our coach from last year, Rick Palumbo, he's volunteering for us this year, and we're happy that he's able to still commit to the program. And then we added a new one, Jamie Demain. She's one of our junior high coaches. So she's, learning the ropes, but she's one like my father is. She's a great person for these kids to look up to. She's positive, she's energetic, and we're just excited to have our staff back intact.
All right, Coach, before I let you go, I want to let you give the Lowellville community a shout out. When is your home opener? And when can they first come see you guys play?
Yeah, our home opener is we're starting quite early. We get 2 games in this year before Thanksgiving. I believe our home opener is Friday, November 18th, and that's against Campbell. And I'm just really excited. I think the fans will be sort of surprised at the changes in these girls and what they're bringing to the floor. Like I said, our first 2 scrimmages have been eye openers to fans and what these girls are capable of, and the excitement that they're going to bring to Lowellville basketball again.
Lowellville not wasting time. That is the first official date of the girls basketball season starting. So you're getting started right on the first date on the 18th at home against Campbell. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us and giving us a little bit of preview of the Rockets season. We look forward to covering you all year, and we'll look forward to also talking to you again real soon.
I really appreciate it. Thank you, Anthony.